Hey y'all, it's Thursday, December 28th. Welcome to day 7 of our finance posting journey. Today we are here with... Say something.
You take a record. Oh, you say
Just say something. Just say something.
Say something.
Say something.
Your ship looks very nice, and I think we should trade, so I'll just take it.
No, wait. Jacob, what are we talking about today?
The mergers and acquisitions.
Yes, that is very, very true. We are talking about mergers and acquisitions. We're going to talk about some critical shareholder percentages. We're going to talk about like why people merge, and that will be it. So in terms of merging companies, when we talk about M&A, we merge companies to play into 3 different metrics to help the companies. So the first of which is economies of scope, the second of which is economies of scale, and the third of which is to play into complementary strengths. Most of the times we merge companies because we have top management that can be attracted, or because like we merge horizontally into a different industry so that we can get complementary strengths, better production, better distribution channels, etc. Most of the times they merge so that they can get a 1 + 1 = 3 effect. There's 2 different types of merges. There is a merge, or we call that an amalgamation, or an acquisition. So when it comes to a merge, both companies or both entities get deleted and they form a new legal entity. What that means is that one company gets made and 2 of them get like deleted. But when it comes to an acquisition, one becomes a subsidiary and the other becomes a parent company. So that way, one basically buys out the other company and the other company still exists. Right, Jacob?
Oh, what? I'm also a genius.
Okay. So the next key concept that we need to talk about is critical shareholder percentages, or how much percent of a company you own. So the first one is 10%, which is the early warning stage. If you think about Elon Musk buying out Twitter, when he owned 10% of the company, he had to disclose what he was going to do with the intention. So in that case, he had to disclose that he was going to buy out Twitter, right? The intentions were to buy out Twitter, so he was going to disclose that on public. Next stage is at 20%, which is called the takeover bid. We have to basically announce the takeover and spread it to, for example, the board of directors and all current shareholders that you're trying to take over. You're going to give a tender offer in the future. Whatever that may be, at 20%, you have to be submitting a takeover bid. And you can no longer purchase more shares on the open markets. So the next stage is a 50.1% stake in the company. This stage is called control. In order to get from 20% to 50.1%, you have to make a tender offer with your takeover bid. So for example, you're going to announce to all the shareholders that I'm trying to buy out shares and I'm going to buy them out, acquire them at this share price, and then decide whether or not they try and sell you the shares. If you're able to make it to this stage, then you can basically have the whole company at control, replace the board of directors, call in shareholder meetings, etc. Next stage is a supermajority at 66.7%. And this is when you can actually merge the company. So note that at 50.1%, you're not allowed to merge the company because you need a supermajority vote in order to be able to merge different companies. Now, the final stage is called a minority squeeze out, and this occurs at 90% equity in the company. And when it comes to 90%, this is the minority squeeze out part. This means that you can force all of the other shareholders to sell out their shares no matter what, and you get to squeeze out the minority, so you don't allow the minority to frustrate and upset the superpowering will of the majority. So the last thing that I just want to note is that there's 2 different types of takeovers. One is a friendly acquisition and the other is a hostile takeover. When it comes to a friendly acquisition, the target company wants to be acquired because they think that there's going to be some kind of a benefit. So what's going to happen is they're going to do like a confidentiality agreement. The target is going to get approached, and then they're going to basically sign letters of intent, maintain due diligence, and then they'll have a lot of these processes. The target company is like, oh, here's a lot of our financial statements, our information, and this is like how we can set up an agreement for us to be taken over. For hostile takeovers, what usually happens is the target company is going to be acquired through purchasing of open market shares until that 20%. And they're going to have to do the tender offers to see whether or not they're going to be able to acquire that company. And then during this time, the board of directors is going to have some time to sort of defend that. They can do what's called a poison pill. Essentially, like one is like companies are going to be cooperative and willing to be taken over, whereas the other is like, we're going to try to defend our shareholders with like shareholders' rights plans, with like by selling the crown jewels, stuff like that. But essentially that is it to mergers and acquisitions, a very, very basic knowledge in depth. That was day 7. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, there we go. And that was, oh my goodness, I'm so bright. That is it right there. Oh my goodness, I am really bright. Damn, okay, I'm turning this off. All right.
For day 8, so make sure you stay tuned.